press any button. Now, and with the updated... Oh, actually, let me lower this a little bit. That way I'm not too drowned out, you know? And they added a voice volume. Wait, this game has fucking copyright, don't it? Alright, I'll turn that off. Let me go on over here and fucking put up my own goddamn music, I guess. And you need to be lower too. Alright. Yeah, it doesn't really fit with the vibes, but whatever. Some skip mode. No, we don't need that. English, ultra. I don't know why the graphics would need to be ultra or very low, but yeah, when you download the 2.0, unfortunately your save file will be deleted. As you can see, all the CGs are gone from mine. Yeah, I haven't really touched this since it updated. I can actually probably turn that up then. Alright, let's do it. Disclaimers. Yeah, music to say here. Man, I'll have to play this on my own time to hear the music if they changed it. Content warning. Touchstarved is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes, but is not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury, and dismemberment. Player discretion is advised. So if you don't like gore of any kind, please leave. If you accept the content warning, please click to proceed. In Touchstarved, your choices matter. The decision you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. Ooh! And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. Left click, progress text and dialogue, mouse wheel up, rewind ooh, they added that, I think. Mouse wheel down, progress text and dialogue. Spacebar, hide the UI, press space again to bring it back. Okay, so I can no longer use my spacebar to progress dialogue. Oh, and we're just gonna do Yonosuke again. Choose your pronouns. He, him. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It all started with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect. Others were mindless beasts driven by little more than bloodshed. As unrest spread and cities fell, humans cowered in fear, while monsters thrived amid the chaos. And then there's you. You don't know what you are, but one terrible truth is certain. You are born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of those you touch. Choose your backstory. The unnamed. You are raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Spurred on by the mage's words, you fled in search of the cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences. The Exile. This, I think, used to be the Hunter? Or the Hound. Something before this. So they changed this recently. I can't remember if that symbol is still the same, though. The Exile, a solitary survivor. You were exiled to a life far from civilization. Your only kinship was with an elderly hermit who taught you how to survive in the wild. He lost his life in search of a cure for you, but left you with a final lead to pursue the cenobium. You're a seasoned survivalist, well-versed in deciphering soulless behaviors. You've gained fluency in various languages and an uncanny intuition for detecting a danger. And then, the alchemist, an abandoned mage. An exiled Cenobian mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the Cenobium, seeking a cure. You're an experienced spellcaster with an encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you could identify the subtle effects of magic. So I'm choosing this one for Rio, but all of these sound very interesting to me. So you could absolutely create different characters for each one, and then go through your playthroughs as them, like romancing different characters, seeing which outcomes you can get. I've, again, never seen anything like this with light novels like this. So it makes me very, very happy that we're getting something new. So we'll do Alchemist and confirm. Your name is Ryunosuke. You selected he, him pronouns. Your backstory is the alchemist. Is this correct? Uh-huh. About there. Okay, so this looks about the same. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seas across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but honestly, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. I could hide my hands and deflect probing questions. But sooner or later, people always suspect something strange about me. As rations grew sparse and canteens ran dry, tensions rose. Despair began to set in until I saw it. Ta-da! Iridia, the city of knowledge. One of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. Hello? All that stands between me and a new life is a final stretch of salt-soaked wastes. Or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Ooh, I don't remember that transition. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire. Dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, snuffing out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. Why? An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. Oh, excuse me. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Then, the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. Ooh. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strips of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding, white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes finally adjust do I see the dark shape before me. Ew. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and charges me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. A horse screams in the distance. I need to move now. Run for the city. I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm headed in the wrong direction, until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fogfall twists and stretches the sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He knocks me to the ground and slips in a patch of mud. The solace instantly falls on him. He catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge torn deep into my palm. But the pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Oh no. Can you stand? One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me! The sensation of their thorn brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go! Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die, 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 die! Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs shriek for air. Fight! My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist. But no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die. Not because of the fogfall or the solace, but because of my curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here, not like this. But then, their hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine. Lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. Solus shoves the body aside, its glowing eyes narrow as though grinning. There's a flash of claws. Red spills across my vision. I thought there'd be pain. As I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth in the icy embrace of shallow water. Oh, you could actually hear the water. I don't know if that's music or not. I spot an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds. Mine, neatly severed at the elbow. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold and alone in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Bright light, fuck, flashbang, I'm sorry. This is death. It's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But I would take a reflexive breath, and air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. Click. Okay. There he is. I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding. But more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No? Who the hell is this? Sit up. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. A stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. A handsome man. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light limns his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I realize that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move, the man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they looked like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable disgust, but his courteous smile lingers. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who, or what, I am. I've never been safe anywhere, with anyone. Even my own mentor, my teacher, thought I was nothing but a convenient specimen to be used and discarded. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. No, I don't think any of this is changed, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing to really change about it. With a soft creak, he rises from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. This looks like a medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He is easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. Thank you. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Thank you. You are very welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. With a curt nod, he leaves through the narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off, and yet the limb shows no signs of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at this sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up and find myself bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I grab the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, bundled with a black woolen cloak, but there's one thing still missing: my bandages. The doctor didn't leave me with any, though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. This is indeed a doctor's clinic. There must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump up against the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move towards me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I can help if you tell me what ails you. I doubt it. Traveling to Iridia was a gamble born of desperation rather than hope. Nothing has come close to curing my curse. And yet, my left arm twitches. The arm that was severed before my very eyes. The doctor's unblinking gaze follows my every move. It's clear he won't drop this without some sort of answer. The bandages protect me, and they warn others to stay away. I've tried every way of covering my hands, and this works best. Most people avoid touching me as soon as they see the bandages. An illness, then? Or a less mundane affliction spread by contact? I flinch. He doesn't even sound surprised, and that's far too close to the truth for comfort. Oh, I don't want to glare. I don't want to be mean. I decline to answer. Well, it's personal, and I don't really want to get into it. I have treated every affliction under the sun. I may have answers that you do not. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? I shake my head. I need to know more about this doctor before he figures me out. Who are you? You may call me Kurash. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Iridia. So I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, very clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child, and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine. Thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on. Pardon? A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I spent my entire life learning from a Cenobian mage, and I know of no alchemy or magic that could reattach a severed limb. Even if he somehow could heal me with magic, I should be able to detect traces of it. But I sense nothing out of the ordinary. And that's probably where the Oracle would be able to sense something. So again, your background does matter. Same with your choices. The doctor, Kurash, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you came from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and one should not give or receive it freely. Since you refuse to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette. Do not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He glances at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I'm a complete stranger to him, yet he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Ryunosuke. My name is Ryunosuke. It is a pleasure to meet you, Ryunosuke. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Why did you save me? If there's anything I've learned is that everybody wants something. With the world in such peril, no one reaches out a hand without expecting something in return. Can I ask why you saved my life? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Kurash. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what price Kurash might demand for such a well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across such a fascinating patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help being curious about you, Ryunosuke. His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. He's cute! Pretty curious yourself. I don't remember all these options. They must have added this. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggled my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and leaving you destitute in a strange place would be unethical. I fall silent, unsure of what to say. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front of the door stops our conversation cold. It spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Kurash lets out a tired sigh. Please wait. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Ryunosuke? Between the Soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost completely forgotten why I had come to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the Cenobium. The Cenobium. The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The Cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors, and even if they open for you, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then, if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander, the leader of the Adderstone. Excuse me? The Wet what? The Wet Wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the Adderstone postings. They are difficult to miss. Miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Crash points towards the back door. You will be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself they added sound effects. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of empty chamber pots. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My coin purse. Every last coin that I'd scraped together for the journey to Iridia is still inside. The purse doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed doors. Kurash didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? In my second playthrough, I will. That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kurash gave me a second chance, and a lead on where I might find help. I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Kurash's clinic stretches down the road. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestone are treacherously rough under my feet. Deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried fruit drifts over to me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head on the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its 3 bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points at a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long legs, 3 copper apiece, don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. Where the lilies? The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of color, painted walls, and tinted glass everywhere I look. I ain't seen no paint. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. Ooh. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the words "The Adderstone" printed above his head. I pause before the poster. What a curious choice of a name. A semi-precious mineral that draws out poison. Oh. Yeah, because I think they used to be called the Hounds, right? I'm pretty sure they were. I'll have to look back at the previous VOD. If Leander is the leader of the Adderstone, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Red Wick." The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. Ooh, they added— oh! That's so cool! I like that! It's not even midday, yet the wick is packed. A loose collection of Iridians crowd the bar, taking up the tables and gathering in the spaces between. They speak amongst each other in hushed voices, their faces drawn and grave. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring, and I'm considering searching the bar when a loud voice carries across the room. Now, I'm no prior curator, but I'm much for paperwork or pencil pushing. And honestly, I don't even think those robes come in my size. I crane my neck, but the crowd is too dense for me to see the speaker. Gather around, I want to show you all something. There is no time to move out of the way. The audience surges towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. Oh, it feels like they cut some stuff. I'm caught and swept along with them. Hey! The clatter of falling chairs and tables being shoved aside drowns out my complaints. I thrash and throw out my elbows and heavy bodies press into mine. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself, but the crowd has stilled. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Titties. If you want nothing but guidelines and practical policies and needless bureaucracy, you know where to go. I drag my eyes upwards. A man towers on the table in front of me, arms spread as he addresses his rapt audience. But I'm not going to wait for a word from on high. His impassioned words provoke nods and excited whispers. But nothing is as captivating as his brilliant smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. And unlike those clerics, I don't need the abbess's approval to cast a spell or two. As he raises his hand above the audience, the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It seems I have found Leander. These are our streets. We make our own luck here. He snaps and a flash of pale green light erupts from his hand. Woo! With a flicker of his wrist, Leander conjures a ribbon of glittering light. A delicate flower stems flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals unfurl. Leander raises the flower with a flourish, and the bar bursts into clapping and cheers. My mouth hangs open, and not just on account of the impressive performance. There was no incantation, no spell circle. I've never seen such a beautiful and intricate spell cast so effortlessly. With skills like that, it's no wonder Kurash sent me here. Leander plucks the shimmering flower out of the air and turns in a slow circle. Now, who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table, but Leander's cool green eyes slide right over them and lock onto me instead. How about you? Sibby, sorry. My chest grows tight. Suddenly, I'm in the spotlight. Take it, I guess. I reach out and take the flower from him, all too aware of my trembling fingers. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stem. As soon as the lilies leave Leander's hand, they dim and they fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. His belt has an incantation circle. Leander steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with a clink. Alright, show's over. Back to work, everyone. The audience disperses, and Leander heads towards the bar. Now's my chance. I start after him, only to find myself face to face with one of his followers. Where you think you're going? I need to talk to Leander. You and half of Lowtown. Leander's busy right now. Out of stone business. Come back tonight. After the moment we shared, surely Leander can spare a word. But the follower crosses her arms. Oh, it's a she. Oh, sorry. Unmoved, I glanced over her shoulder, hoping to catch a glimpse of Leander. As though sensing my gaze, he looks up, and for a moment, our eyes lock. Then, Leander turns away to murmur something to the group gathered around him. The follower moves to block my view. You hear me? I'm not looking for trouble. This Dr. Kurash said I could find Leander. That's... She's interrupted by a hand resting on her shoulder. Kurash sent you. He said you could help me. Leander nods at the woman, and she steps aside wordlessly. Follow me. He leads me to the crowded bar. There's so little room that his broad shoulder presses against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Sorry about that. The Adderstone watch out for one another, but they can be overprotective at times. Lesson learned. Leander flashes me a broad grin. You're new to Iridia, aren't you? He says it with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm starting to remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. My eyes drop to the polished countertop. I ain't used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. The tism, you see. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What'll it be? Surprise me, and add anything my friend wants to my tab. Water. Give me water. Water's fine. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbows on the counter. His sleeves right up, revealing a long, raised scar. I catch myself following its winding path across his forearm. Leander's eyes wander over me in return. When they lock on my bandaged hands, a bitter taste rises in my throat. Here come the questions. Is there any chance Kurash sent you here for cheap drinks or barely edible appetizers? No. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, sighing when it immediately falls back into place. That's the doctor for you, always business. I'm not sure he even knows how to relax. The bartender pushes a pair of glasses our way. I don't realize how thirsty I am until the cool water touches my lips. Beside me, Leander takes a deep swig from his glass. So, how can I help you? I need to get to the cenobium. As soon as the word cenobium leaves my mouth, the group standing nearby fell silent. From the wary looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some taboo. It had to be the cenobium. Leander pushes away from the counter. Let's continue this conversation outside. I rise to follow him. They definitely cut back some of that scene from the first round. Because I remember interacting with the hounds a lot more. Or him addressing the hounds a lot more. Leander leads me into an alleyway tucked behind the wet wick. Layers upon layers of frayed and faded Adderstone posters plaster the wall. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his printed likeness is impressive if abstract. Karash didn't send you here to ask for a personal escort to the cenobium, did he? From his tone, he already knows the answer. No, he suggested I reconsider. Yet here you are, asking about a guide anyway. He looks at me expectantly. I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my monstrous capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Are you aware of Iridia's particular currency? Information worth its weight in gold here. I don't much care for outdated traditions, so I'll be completely honest. The cenobium won't help you. They're more likely to torture you than lend you a hand. Torture? My teacher never described anything like that. But the cenobium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. The cenobium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a fading world. If any place held answers, it would be the cenobium. That's why I came here. Leander nods patiently. You're not the first person to fall for their propaganda. I grew up idolizing the cenobium. I wanted nothing more than to join their ranks, to learn magic from the best, to make a real difference. I was young and blinded by the legends and the legacy. I was so damn naive. He shakes his head. All it took was one trip here to Lowtown to show me the truth. Unless you've got a heavy purse or high-born blood, the cenobium doesn't give a damn. They'll never open their gates for the ones who need help the most. Then it's all a lie? Things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. Leander watches me as though weighing something in his mind. But that doesn't mean you're hopeless. Far from it. I founded the Outer Stone to help people like you. We settle disputes, slay feral soulless. Hell, we've even been known to patch a leaky roof or two. Whatever troubles you, we can help, free of charge. I'm shaking my head before he even finishes his speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Hold on, sippy. Why do visual novels have so much talking? It's kind of weird. It's like a novel or something. I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Leander doesn't look remotely surprised. Then you're looking for help with something serious. Something not even Crash could crack. It must be a truly remarkable problem if you came all the way to Iridia searching for help. Tell me, how can I help you? Leander may not work for the cenobium, but if his demonstration was any indication, then he's even stronger than the mage who raised me. She couldn't do anything about my curse, but maybe. Indecision gnaws at me. I don't know if I could trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this might be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a strained whisper. I'm cursed. He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and filing my hands. Is that why you bandage your hands? My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I've even finished, Leander pulls his left glove off. He flexes his fingers and grins. Alright, let's see it. As he offers me his hand, a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm. An enchantment for protection, but I'm already shrinking backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I won't allow myself to hurt him. To see his kind face unrecognizably warped. I don't want to hurt you. I'll be fine. Trust me. I've seen enough curses and hexes to last me 2 lifetimes, but I'm still standing. Do you really think Crash would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today! I'm twice as good as any Cenobian mage. If anyone can help you, it's me. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then I begin to unwind the bandages from my hand. If you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. His attempt at levity does little to comfort me. With each joint I expose, I grow increasingly certain that this is a terrible idea. But if he's bothered by how my hand looks, he doesn't show it. Alright, deep breath on my count. My fingers hover shakily over Leander's palm. 3, 2, 1. Tooch. I tap his palm once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. Heart racing, my eyes dart to his face, but Leander only smiles gently. See? Can't be. When I reach for his palm again, Leander catches my wrist before I can pull back. I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. He's already crazy, that's why! He trails off when my thumb grazes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of his palm, lost in awareness I wasn't anticipating. Oh god, excuse me. Surprise burps, I'm sorry. It's not as though I've never been touched before. My curse only extends to my hands, and desperation spurs creativity. But all that pales in comparison to this. I've never experienced such intimacy. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandages, pick up every single detail. The groove along his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the bones in his wrists. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hands without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine hammers as fear gives way to excitement. Keep tooching. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his arm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to a raised scar. It matches the one that runs from his collar to his cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? When I glance at Leander's face, his lips part as he considers his words. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? My hands go still on his arm. So far. Then is it everything you wanted? When I nod, Leander turns my hand in his... When I nod, Leander turns my hand in his to inspect the gleaming fissures crisscrossing my knuckles. There's no revulsion in his face, no fear. He looks up at me and grins. It's not every day I get to meet someone as enticing as gold. He winks and lets me go. I draw my hand back and take a steadying breath. My head feels like it's stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. I've really forgotten my manners. May I ask your name? I'm Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke, this curse of yours is unlike anything I've ever seen before. I can tell you're careful, but it's best you kept this between us. Are you staying in Lowtown? I pause. Room and board was something I'd yet to consider, and I don't want to sleep in chamber pot refuse. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. The wake is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of Leander's followers have dispersed, or in a few cases fallen asleep beside their drinks. Got any room left, or did my lock grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. The usual room? Leander's laugh sounds slightly strained. No, not today. This is just from my friend Ryunosuke. Right, stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Have fun? Huh? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. My treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone free meals. Thank you. Iridia is twice as dangerous as it is wondrous. Be careful out there. And if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my coat for safekeeping. Leander gives me a friendly wave before returning to the bar. Oh, we actually get to see... Ooh, this is a pretty room! I love it. Dusk glitters in the sparse rays of light illuminating the room. The furniture is tired, the walls cracked, and a large lumpy bed serves as the centerpiece. A double bed. Wink wink. I can't remember the last time I slept in a bed, and I never imagined I'd sleep on one tonight. When I collapse onto the bed, the springs let out shrill squeaks. Finally, I can allow myself to rest. My eyes fall shut before long. I wake to pale sunlight filtering through the narrow windows. Despite the clamor of the tavern below, the precious hours of rest have restored my strength and given me a flicker of cautious optimism. If I play my cards right, today could be the day I get closer to finding a cure. I quickly head out of the wet wick. The air clings, sodden and heavy with the lingering scent of rain. Without the afternoon crowd, the district looks barren and bleak. In the middle of the street, a pair of crows quibble over stale bread crusts. I pause, watching them while I consider my next move. Typical corvids. Karash and Leander both made it clear that the cenobium can't be trusted. But I came so far and endured too much to give up now. I need to see the cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. Surely someone in the bar can point me in the right direction. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. Ooh! The shadow trickles down the street in rivulets. Formless, dark spreads like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch. A muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep, I feel it in my chest. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped as though the slightest movement or breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to look what got me in the eye first. I steel myself, then turn. Fucking nothing. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came, and I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone, save for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. Whew! Him! A monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for human were it not for the tufted ears, the tail curled around his ankle. Or the dusk pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. We lock gazes and the monster uncrosses his long legs. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood where it curls around his colored throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an inscrutable grin. Did you see that shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the wicksome, drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. My key. With a flick of his wrist, my in-room key dangles from his finger. It turns on his chain, glittering when it catches the light. Look at those thighs! My hands fly to my cloak's pockets, and sure enough, find them flat. He crooks his fingers, beckoning. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on the edge, throbbing with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edge of my vision. I always seem to attract the worst kinds of attention, but I can't get rattled now. Where'd you find it? My key. How'd you find it? What can I say? I'm a sucker for shiny things. He smiles wide enough to reveal sharp fangs. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. A city like this, somebody might take advantage. The bald-faced lie said without a hint of irony. I didn't drop my key, and I didn't sense any magic either. You must have stolen it somehow. I approach the monster, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. The stranger's chain softly clinks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keeping your distance. I'd be stupid to trust you. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? He's got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Luckily for you, I don't charge. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang for the first time since I stepped into the shop. Woo! I feel something other than dread. My face grows hot. I didn't mean to assume. I'm flattered, really. Did you think you could pay to pet my ears? Yes? I would have fluffed it between. I just need my key back. Ask nicely, and I might even let you tug my tail. Just throw it here, so some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run. He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumming in the wick with the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler, what misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. What could possibly What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pigpen, I wonder? He listlessly watches the arc of my key swinging around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Dagger-sharp eyes flick towards me. They gleam bright with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. Oh, they did change his facial expressions. They added way more. Oh, he looks so cute! By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever... I don't think they finished the sentence. Oh no! Play along with him. How'd you know that I spent all my money, starved and nearly died in a swamp, just so I could crawl into bed with the first thirsty monster I met? That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark lashes. Aren't you funny? Could you be any more obvious? I have been told subtlety is not my strength. So, your place of mine. I'd invite you if I had my key. If only I had my key, I might be able to invite you up. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Take my hand and we'll go together. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack me, or bite, I won't bite hard unless you beg me. Fuck! No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into innuendo. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. Their lute is utterly exquisite. Truly a performance to die for. I lost the accent. I don't know what happened to it. I'm sorry. There's life in this dreadful place if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. The monster's gaze flickers from me to the key hanging from his finger. Naturally, this dump was little more than a miserable little smear on a map when I first arrived. Hightown, Lowtown. I know Iridia like the back of my hand. What about the Cenobium? Do you know where that is? His smile vanishes. Fuck! Surely you've seen it. That absurdly large tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. He must mean that spire I noticed when I first caught sight of Iridia. The Cenobium's overrated. Forget about it. I could show you things those stuffy boars in their limp-dick tower couldn't even dream of. What do you say? How about the two of us have a little adventure? Yes! I've already got plans. Oh, have you some pressing matters at the Cenobium? Lunch dates with the librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abbess? That's my business. What's the matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of his own tedious game, extends his hand toward me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. Woo! When he makes no other move, I reach for the key, but as soon as my fingers graze smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. Ooh. Hey! He got close to me. He yanks me down and I stagger, my shoes slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them, even as he grips my arm. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of the road and death. And that fucking doctor. His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil. And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes at me. Let go! Just when I fear he'll bite, his grip loosens and his eyes widen with awe. It seems I underestimated you. You're... Vere! The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging my bandages. He twists around to see a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. Her Cenobium uniform is nearly identical to the one my mentor kept tucked away in her closet. I leave you for all of what, 10 minutes, and you're making trouble again. Will you quit harassing the tourists? The stranger, Vere I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the cleric a withering smile. So suspicious. Can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar. He grins at me and his tail switches coyly. The woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Vere cuts in. I was graciously offering my friend some free advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Danger's drawn to you like a moth to flame. It will always find you given time. The woman clucks her tongue as though she's heard this recital 102 times. Word to the wise, don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for the sheer enjoyment of it. She shrugs off a wilting look from Vere. Oh, please. Any friend of yours knows it's true. Now hold still. Vere raises his gracefully... Vere rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly, it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from his harness, but a heavy iron chain wound around a hitching post and padlocked to the back of his collar. The woman produces a crowded key ring from her pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and slotting it into the lock. I can't speak! Come on, unless your friend's tagging along on a merry little soulless hunt. They're hunting for souls inside the city. Words momentarily fail me. The cleric regards me with a polite, if tight smile before marching down the stairs. Vere lingers. He stretches his arms over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. Fuck! Your little secret's safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed, Vere hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily, as though he hadn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try that thing I mentioned? The Loveachian knot? That the one where you take 3 fingers and... Actually, don't tell me. Knowing you, it's probably disgusting. Vere's airy laughter echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric have vanished from sight that I realize I'm still missing something. Wait! Reflexively, I shove my hands into my pocket and find it. The room key. I raise it to the light. Sure enough, it's my key, but the realization is hardly comforting. I don't know what Vere's game was or what he wanted from me. All I know for certain is that the Cenobium saw fit to leash him. A fate I could share if that's what his vague warning meant. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns gently swaying in the breeze to the Cenobium faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need, that I could put this all behind me. This time, the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping. That way I can lose my coins too. It's easy enough to follow the winding streets, climbing uphill towards the distant tower. I think they changed this too, because we used to only just see this alcove before. Hours later, legs aching, sweat beading on my forehead, I finally find what I'm searching for. The Cenobium of the Luminous Void. It stands at the highest point of Iridia, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the walkways, ignoring the massive tower in their midst. I'm the only one standing before the gates. I crane my neck up until the top of the Cenobium spire disappears into the clouds overhead. The gates are so heavily enchanted that even standing near them sets my teeth on edge. Alchemically reinforced locks, invisible alarm sigils, and who knows what else. Knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see any other way of making my presence known. I'm halfway up the steps when something moves in my peripheral vision. A shadowy figure crouches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine, as if testing its strength. Oi, you there! The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spotted it, and a gaunt-faced man in a crisp charcoal uniform marches up the steps towards me. Ugh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done gawking. A dismissive wave accompanies his equally dismissive words, and he turns without even waiting for my response. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there's nothing. Just leaves blowing gently in a cool breeze. Hold on. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washing over me. Hello? A whisper coats the back of my ear, hot and syrupy. I jerk away, but find no one beside me. Instead, halfway down the staircase, I spot a girl peering up at me. She's barefoot, draped in several layers of worn, moth-eaten clothing. Peculiar metal jewelry hanging across her face and jingles with each slight movement. Her eyes are her most striking feature. They shine a scorching, unnatural crimson. It feels like staring into the sun, and yet I'm strangely captivated by her. She tilts her head, tinkling of metal riding the wind. Do you need help? I do. I'm unsure how to respond. The air is charged with a mysterious energy, as if each of my words is worth its weight in gold. On the off chance she can help me, I might as well be somewhat truthful. I do, but wanting it is another question. The giggle she makes is a chiming, fluttering sound. You're honest. I like that. She dips into a polite curtsy. My name is Iris. I was like you once, hopeless and alone. The ones in the tower won't help with your pain. I might be able to, though. I try not to dwell on the fact that I'm recognizably desperate. Instead, I focus on her vague offering as I descend the steps. You don't know what I'm looking for. You need what everyone needs in this world. A miracle. Iris turns and my thoughts abruptly scatter. Pitted skin snakes down her shoulders, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. A shuddering breath escapes me. The fuck? By the looks of it, some sort of disease ate away at her spine, leaving her with hollowed vertebrae. I'm sure one of the other backgrounds, maybe the Oracle, would be able to give more insight to this. How is she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet... You only get a glimpse before she faces me once more, this time looking a bit bashful. I know it's not pretty, but that's not what matters. The sea spring can cure anything. It can cure you, too. Her shining eyes flick to my bandaged hands, then up again, so quick I nearly miss it. I stand there, wordless. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. She extends a hand out to me, her delicate fingers outstretched. I can take you there if you'd like. You can decide on your own when you see it. Her hand is frail, marred with tiny wounds. It's the epitome of vulnerability, the complete opposite of the Shinobi's mocking, impenetrable gates. And if I say no? It's your choice. The truth is, I don't have much of a choice. Not right now, at least. I wonder if Iris knows that somehow. If there's any hope of finding a cure, I need to follow every lead, including seeing this sea spring for myself. Take her hand! I cautiously slide my hand into hers. Her skin is ice cold through my bandages. We descend from the higher streets, abandoning their gilded decadence as we cross the river. The wet, derelict districts hold more familiarity for me. However, Iris leads me farther still until I'm met with an all too familiar sight. The wasteland. My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The sea spring is straight ahead. Iridia's outskirts are hardly recognizable in daylight, but venturing beyond city walls is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. I shake my hand and pull away from Iris. I'm not leaving the city. She circles in front of me with a placating gesture. Don't be scared. I promise you it's all right. You're as safe inside the city as outside of it, and this stretch before you is the safest of all. She casts a wistful gaze out over the wastes, as if admiring something beyond the vista. This region belongs to Ace. Some call him a gang leader, but he's much more than that. It's difficult to string my thoughts together. Only a fool would leave the city, but a primal instinct tells me that Iris isn't lying. She twirls around with another curtsy, jewelry twinkling playfully in the sunlight. Her doe eyes soften with a smile. As I said, it's your choice. Thank you for coming this far. I hope we meet again, Ryunosuke. I blink and she's gone. Confusion grips me as I look around, searching for any trace of her. But I'm completely alone, with only the vast nothingness of the waste for company. Did I just imagine everything? No, that whole encounter was real. Again, that primal instinct insists on it, just like it insisted on Iris' honesty. The sea spring is straight ahead. If it managed to cure Iris, I need to see what it can do for me. I venture forth, nerves and determination roiling together in my chest. Determination! My heart pounds with each step I take from civilization. For what seems like an eternity, I force each foot forward. One step, then another, until a realization hits me. I never told Iris my name. Something pierces the horizon ahead of me. A building nestled into a tall cliffside. It appears so starkly out of place that it might as well be a hallucination. dripping with extravagance and adorned in honey mahogany. It's an ornate jewel of architecture. I guess they haven't drawn it yet. Dark silhouettes skirt it on both sides. Trees, I think, until I'm close enough to realize that what I mistook for branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless. Several of them watch me in the distance like statues. Flashes of last night chase me. The gushes of blood and screams of death. The smell of burning flesh and sour bile. I can't go through that again. I won't. Exploding into a messy sprint, I push my legs as fast as they'll take me towards the decorated building. The next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and crashing through towering double doors. My lungs burn from exertion. I gasp for breath, desperate to be safe, but when I orient myself with my surroundings, it's more hellscape than sanctuary. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with a lurid, unholy red. Instinctively, my hands leap to my mouth. Oh, excuse me. But the rotten stench of blood never comes. Instead, oh my god, these hiccups! Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air, sharp and spiced. I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's... Oh! I have hiccups, hold on! Ugh! I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's not as gruesome as it appears. This has to be the sea spring, the place that grants miracles. Tall pillars flank me, blanketed in written notes. Seating pillows scatter the floor. A rustic kettle sits nearby. Someone must live here, despite how eerily empty it is. Call out? Hello? Is anyone here? My voice echoes across the cavern without response. I approach the paper-covered pillars. Maybe something here could tell me more. I reach for... Oh, I can't remember. The bottom. No. Let's do the closest one. I reach for a note in front of me. It reads, Dear Mother, don't cry for me. I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye, but we'll meet again in another life. I love you very much. P.S. If you ever see me, never speak to me again. It's written in perfect cursive. I've never seen such beautiful handwriting. Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. Something's watching me. I quickly set the note back, my eyes darting around the wooden deck, but it's still empty. Finally, I look towards the sea spring. That stillness hides something deeper. Something wrong. Hey! I spin around and come face to face with a pack of soulless. They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring threateningly. All different sizes and species, but sharing one identical trait. Glowing crimson eyes. I try to back away, but my heels teeter over the sea spring. I'm cornered. Watch your step. It's deeper than it looks. That voice again. At the sound of it, the soulless freeze, their snarls quieting. Titties. I search for the words, the voice's source, and find it above me, lounging in the rafters. You look lost, little sparrow. His gaze is a violent crimson, one that sears through me, leaves me feeling raw and exposed. They're the same eyes I've seen over and over, first with Iris, now with the soulless circling me, all bound by the sea spring's blood red. I have to take another sip, I'm sorry, my throat, oh, it's so dry. Oh, excuse me. In the shrouded darkness behind him, shapes like massive tentacles twist and coil around the wooden beams. I can't focus. Soulless's growls ring in my ear. They're not advancing, but that could change at any second. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle to track them. Hey! Eyes on me. My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? Fuck you! I look right into his unnerving eyes and hold his gaze defiantly. Fuck you. Is that better? A crooked grin cracks across his face. We'll work on it. Bastard! I scan the Solus again. They really aren't attacking, and are posturing more than anything else. It's as if they're waiting for commands. Did you tame them? Power of the Sea Spring. They're hungry, so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. How about I didn't do anything wrong? Trespassing. And that's punishable by death? He gives a non-committal shrug. I called out earlier to see if anyone was here. Were we supposed to play hide and seek? Didn't hear you. My voice stops in my throat. This bastard's terse coolness is both infuriating and terrifying. I rack my brain for a way to defuse the situation. Tell me what you want. I'm not in the mood for guessing games. Your hands. Alarm jolts through me. I had my hands under my cloak. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. With a sharp exhale, I reluctantly hold out my bandaged hands. Are you getting off on this? Unwrap them. Heat rushes to my face and fire to my tongue. I should give him peace of my mind, not when his Solus are one command away from ripping me to shreds. Yet no matter how much I will myself to move, my body stays frozen in place. I stand there for a long, agonizing minute. My hands are trembling when I finally raise them. I know the skin beneath the wrappings all too well, the hideous, unnatural flesh I've grown to despise. I grip the edge of the bandages. Stop! With a weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud that shakes the panels underfoot. He's a monster, with an imposing figure that towers over me. I couldn't tell how tall he was before, but he's big. Illuminated by the lantern light, his features are stronger and sharper. Subtle clinks of metal accompany each of his footsteps. The closer he gets to me, the faster my heart hitches. What does he want? Is he going to kill me? I step backwards. I find nothing to step my foot on. I forgot my back was to the sea spring. I fall, right before a warm hand catches my lower back. I'm hovering above the sea spring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. I'm too stunned to muster a response. Like I weigh nothing, he guides me back to solid ground. Following a subtle gesture from his fingers, the Solus around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt it gives me whiplash. The enormous tentacles are no longer in the rafters. Though now I doubt I ever saw them at all. Either way, I let out a breath of relief. Thanks. As focused on me as he was before, the monster pays no attention to me now. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkways, checks the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden disregard is almost insulting. So that's it? I'm not a threat anymore? Never were one. Then why'd you threaten me? People get honest when they're afraid. In other words, he was messing with me. I drag a hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me today. You're Ace, aren't you? Depends who's asking. One of your friends told me this was your territory. She also said you were a gang leader. But there's no one else here. I thought there'd be more people. Ace picks up the kettle, walks to the edge of the sea spring, and dumps the contents into the endless thread. They took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches ear to ear. Then, in an instant, it drops. I get the sense that I shouldn't ask about that again. What do you need the sea spring's power for? Depends. Can it cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? Nope. He shakes out the empty kettle and starts collecting stray cups, tidying up. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused smirk. Are you being irritating on purpose? Listen, Sparrow, the sea springs can cure anything. Nothing stopping you from trying it yourself. What do I have to do? Drink. I have to drink from the sea spring? My eyes glide to the blood-like pool beside us. The idea of ingesting the liquid makes my guts churn. It's not as if I'm adverse to elixirs or decoctions and made my fair share of them, but one misstep and you can easily meet with a fate worse than death. Is there a price? Always. Ace taps his temple with a finger. You lose it a little bit. That's it? Might have already beat it to the punch. Oh, that's a new face! Oh, that's a great face! My humor earns me an amused, fanged grin. But where Fang, though? No Fang. This is a little different. When you drink from the sea spring, you forget who you are. Your mind combines with everyone who ever drank before. Humans, monsters, soulless. One big happy family in your head. My blood runs cold. I've heard of these before. Group minds. Some legends suggest that independent minds can be physically linked together through a strong enough catalyst. It's never been done before. But something tells me this is real, even if one thing doesn't add up. Your eyes are red too, but you obviously haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, Ace strides past me towards the entrance. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Came on a bad day. I've got somewhere to be. There are still so many questions burning on the tip of my tongue, but my frustration spills out before I can ask any of them. I was told to come here for help, but instead I get threatened and kicked out. You're joking, right? Watch your tone. I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the host's mood. My skin prickles. The feeling of being watched washes over me again. My eyes dart back and over to the sea spring. A lone ripple dances on the quiet surface. I take Ace's advice and clamp my mouth shut. Ace approaches a nearby Solus, a lanky, dog-like one with 6 legs and a crown of tendrils. Several sets of red eyes adorn its sides. Its forked tail wags rapidly when Ace squats beside it. He runs his fingers through the tendrils, scratching his chin and pats his head. A gentle smile plays across Ace's lips. The affection he holds for the Solus is painfully clear. I dip my eyes away, my stomach fluttering at the tender sight. It's getting dark out, so this pretty girl will guide you back. Following a short whistle from Ace's lips, it trots over to the entrance, obediently, tail swaying. I watch the Solus warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe it, and the idea of it protecting me sounds absurd. If I decide to drink, how do I find you? Find someone with eyes like mine. They'll point you in the right direction. But think it over. Once you drink, you can't go back. It's a lot to process, but I give a small nod. At least I know I have another option for a cure, as disturbing as it may be. I follow the Solus at a measured distance and watch it nudge the giant doors open with ease. When I'm about to cross the threshold, I sneak one last glance behind me. That has to be new too, I think. I don't remember that look. My heart skips when I meet Ace's eyes. I'm about to snap my head away, but he just flashes me an easy smile. Till next time, Sparrow. I'll buy you a drink for scaring you. I don't trust myself to do anything but respond with another curt nod. Outside, more crimson-eyed Solus scuttle about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack from before. They chase each other in circles, roll around in the bog's mud. They pay no attention to me as the dog-like one escorts me away. It's an uneventful trip. Sometimes the Solus looks over his shoulder at me to make sure I'm still following. I'm surprised they still haven't made a drawing for this Solus. Dusk darkens the sky by the time we reach the city. Solus sits canting its head at me with familiar crimson eyes. Pet the Solus. As nervous as I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the Solus's tendrils and scratch beneath its chin, just like Ace had. It pushes into my palm in response, rumbling with a sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost therapeutic. When it's satisfied, the soul spins around and scampers back in the direction we came, vanishing into the darkness. Drinky. Ugh! I've just arrived in Iridia, but I've already encountered so many things I thought were impossible. Tame Soulless being one of them. My head spins. Maybe I should call it a day. Ooh. Nightfall creeps across the streets of Iridia. The city, labyrinthine even in daytime, has now become a warren of treacherous alleyways. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city abandoned. My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. I strain my ears, but everything is still. Is the silence playing tricks on me? Something's wrong. Sorry, I have an itch. The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle, a frisson of discomfort running down my spine. Something's wrong. My eyes dart from one side of the street to the other, searching for movement, but the shadows are as deep and dark as pools of ink. I can't stay here. I need to reach a busier part of the city. Drawing my cloak tighter around my body, I hurry. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder if I really did imagine that noise. I turn the next corner, and my thoughts come screaming to a halt. My head spins, the world blurring as adrenaline rushes through my veins. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. The Soulless that attacked the caravan. It's crouched over a dark, indistinct shape. A body. A garland of intestines spills from pallid flesh. Blood grouts the cobblestone. Holding my breath, I take a step backwards. When the wet, slurping sounds don't abate, I take another, then another. Then a shard of glass crushes under my heel. The world slows to a crawl as the Soulless raises its head, blood dripping from its tendrils. Every single one of its sulphurous, bulging eyes fixed unblinkingly on me. It's really here. It's come back for me. Run! I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. Behind me, a piercing bay splits the silence, and heavy footfalls pound after me. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose the Soulless in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear its breathing now, a wet, fluttering rasp, growing closer and closer. The same claws that severed my arms swipe out. I duck, saved by pure reflex, and skid around a corner only to freeze. A wall twice as high as me bars my way. A dead end. Behind me, the Soulless looms. It's enormous, taking up nearly the entire width of the alleyway. Its long, claw-tipped limbs give it the advantage of reach. Fight back. It's the only thing I can do. Fight or flight. I may be cornered, but I'm not going to just lie down and accept my death. Despite the trembling in my fingers, I unwind my bandages. I just need to touch it. If I could touch it with my uncovered hands, I could pacify it. With an ear-splitting shriek, the Soulless charges at me. I duck under its first swipe, nearly losing my footing. Its talons rake down, tearing the edge of my cloak. I see an opening and lunge. The Soulless talons open my arm from shoulder to wrist. For a moment, I don't feel anything. Then pain explodes up my arm and through my body, and I reflexively flinch back. I don't get far. The Soulless' tail whips out, catching me at the ankles and sending me sprawling to the ground. Desperately, I raise my good hand in an attempt to defend myself, but its foot comes down hard on my shoulder. I think I got abandoned, guys. The tendons give way, the joint dislocating with a sickening pop. With both arms useless, I can only watch, numb, as it descends on me. I wish I could say it was quick and painless, that someone came to help me. But in the end, my only escape is death. The end. And that's one of the many ways that you could die in the demo. Okay. Now, let's not choose the fight. Try to escape. It doesn't even give me the option. As the Solus prowls closer, my eyes dart from side to side, looking for an escape. The Solus is blocking the obvious way out, but right behind me, there's a rickety door that must lead into the adjoining building. If I can get inside, the Solus's size will hinder any attempt to pursue me. I whirl, grabbing at the handle. It turns completely. The hinges creak as I push, and I feel a flash of hope before a weight hits the door from the other side and slams it shut. The click of the lock turning is grimly final. In this wretched world, few people will stick their neck out to help their own flesh and blood, never mind a stranger. The Solus gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges for me with a flash of claws. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestone betray me. I fall, sprawling over the rough stone. As the Solus looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill. But the impact never comes. What, no sound effect? I warily crack one eye open, then the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one blood-stained hand outstretched. It's that they're them. Moonlight silvers the edge of their stiletto knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood, and the Solus. My eyes dart past my unexpected rescuer, to the misshapen form behind them. The Solus's many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now look dull and waxy. A red pool spreads slowly from under its body. Numb with shock, I can't help but stare. After all the people it's killed, after nearly killing me twice, I can hardly believe it's dead. Well, I gingerly take the offered hand. The hunter's gaze dips to my bandages. Pale lips part on the brink of a question, then close again. With a strength belying their slight frame, they pull me upright. I can feel the tension in their grip. Their fingers tremble like they want to pull away. It's a sensation I'm all too familiar with myself. Despite their obvious discomfort, they pause for a moment, pale eyes sweeping over me. Not going to fall. When I shake my head, they hastily let go and back off, wiping the blood from their face and hands. The hunter turns away from me, the heel of their boot hitting the Solus's gangly body. They lean over it, studying it intently. I want to say they added these red dots to their eyes. With their back to me, I realize that their hooded silhouette is familiar. I saw them outside the cenobium. Vestigial or functional? I'm startled out of my thoughts when they speak. They aren't looking at me. Can't all be processed in the brain. Its occipital lobes would have to be enormous. In fact, I don't think they're talking to me at all. It sounds like they're trying to figure out how the Solus was able to process input from so many eyes at once. I can't say I expected to be rescued by someone who seems more than passingly familiar with neurology. Ooh, this is new. Suggest your own theory. I used to sit and talk with my teacher for hours. It's all too easy for me to slip back into that old habit. What if it has a distributed nervous system? They nod absently, still engrossed in their examination. Possible, or maybe the sensory input from the additional eyes is rudimentary. Do you think they only check motion? That's a nice face. Oh, that's so cute. They cut themselves off so sharply. I could practically hear their brain catching up to the mouth. They whip around, wide eyes landing on me. Sorry, did I say something wrong? No, I just didn't expect... It's been a while since I've had someone answer, that's all. They clear their throats, straightening up. Most people would have run off by now. So, do you need something? It doesn't seem like they're interested in discussing the soul's nervous system any further. Too bad. They almost seemed approachable. I wanted to thank you. They stare at me. Though their lips part, they seem to struggle to figure out what to say. Not used to hearing that? That hint of uncertainty almost vanishes under the scowl. Almost. You shouldn't need my help to begin with. What are you thinking, traveling alone at night? This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tails of them. First they save me and now they scold me? Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. They frown, though their disapproval doesn't seem directed at me. If you're not going to run off screaming, you might as well wait until I'm done. Ooh, excuse me. Their attention glides back to the Solus' corpse. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I cleared my throat to fill the silence. I'm Ryunosuke. Min. Suddenly, Min tenses. The blade flashes as they drive it into the base of the Solus' skull, right between the cervical vertebrae. The Solus thrashes once, letting out a rattling hiss as the air leaves its lungs. Min leans on the blade, driving it deeper and deeper, until there's a sickening crunch, and the creature goes limp. My heart thuds in my chest. It must have been clinging to life by a thread. Min straightens up, withdrawing their blade in a single smooth motion. Better put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. Min struck the creature with surgical precision. Their quick, clean movements remind me of my dissection lessons. But I've never seen that kind of knowledge used to kill before. Are you some kind of scientist? Min stops mid-motion, lifting their head to stare at me. You knew exactly where to strike. Have you studied anatomy or medicine? Not quite. But why is a Solus inside the city? Min looks at me, eyes searching, before realization dawns. You're new here. There's no walls around the city, Solus can come and go as they please. Until someone is contracted to stop them. The Cenobium's patrols don't bother to protect Lowtown. Not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of Cenobium? I wouldn't go that far. Either way, it looks like I owe you. Min's brow fuck off, Windows. Min's brow roughly furrows and they sheath their knife, motioning for me to follow. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in the city. I trail behind them as I stride down the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? I came for the bounty on that Solus, and you were in the way. Not killing you is the same as helping you. Don't count on being so lucky again, or you'll be dead by sunrise. Their answer is stingingly harsh. You know what? Fair enough. Fed up with oh, I didn't mean to be rude. Fed up with their hot and cold attitude, I don't bother holding back anymore. Fine. I don't know why you dive in out of nowhere to kill some dangerous Solus, then be rude to the person you held, but go right ahead. Min blinks, staring at me like my head just spun around my neck. They open their mouth, then close it, looking uncertain. I forge onward, gathering steam. I was just trying to get back to my lodgings. How was I supposed to know there'd be dangerous Solus hunting in the streets? You don't have to be an asshole about it. You're not as spineless as you look. Oh, they like that? Ooh! They sigh and shake their head. It's too dangerous at this hour. I'll take you to wherever you're staying. After all that, the offer catches me off guard. When they realize I'm staring, they look away with a huff. You aren't wrong. It'll be faster if I take you there myself. I have a room at the Wet Wick. The same at the name, Min's face falls. That gaudy cesspit? Not a fan. It's full of drunks and idiots. What do you think? True, it doesn't seem like their kind of place. Well, that's where I'm staying. Are you taking back your offer? Min exhales sharply and shakes their head. This way. Whoops! Oh, I didn't mean to do that. No! Min's route is completely different from my slow, early morning meandering. Their steps are swift and sure, even though all the streets blur together in the dark. You know the city pretty well. I grew up here. I think that's the first thing they've told me voluntarily since we met. Was it always like this? Min's gaze wanders, dragging along the dingy buildings. I struggle to decipher their expression. Regret? No, Iridia was never perfect, but it used to be a place worth living in. I can't make heads or tails of Min's answers. Iridia is the last bastion of humanity in this wasteland. Where else is worth living? The Wetwick's not much farther now. In no time at all, the shadowy alleys of Lowtown give way to brightly lit avenues and crowds of lively people. Ta-da! It's as if half the city has poured into the Amaryllis district's colorful streets. Laughter, clinking glasses, and music assault my ears from every direction. Yet most of the noise comes from the Wetwick. Its doors hang wide open. Bright lanterns frame a tall and familiar figure. Ah, it's him. Ryunosuke. And Min, I see. It's hard to say which of us is more surprised. You know each other? Min is a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They're quite reliable. A freelancer who wields a dagger like a scalpel? There must be more to that story. Though I can't say I remember you ever escorting travelers. Ryunosuke nearly walked into the jaws of Solus. I thought bringing him here would be less trouble. If you're staying here, I take it Leander was able to help you. As it happens, I was also headed in that direction. Shall we? Fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. Min drags their feet, reluctantly trailing me into the tavern. We're almost through. My throat can almost take a rest. As soon as the door opens, a wave of sticky heat rolls over me. In the hours since I left, the wick has grown suffocatingly crowded. Kurash stands a head taller than most. Even so, I nearly lose sight of him amid the sea of more swarming bodies. Pardon me. As if on cue, the crowd parts. Kurash glances over his shoulder at Min and me before gliding through. How can anyone breathe in here? Min follows at a clipped pace. Behind the bar, Leander holds a pair of shot glasses brimming with luminous green liquid. And now for the finishing touch. A flash of magic paints the glasses white with frost. You'll never guess what's in these. He slides the glass across the counter, and I get my third and fourth shots of the evening in rapid succession. Pooh! Ace leans against the bar, an elbow propped up on the counter. He catches the glasses and lifts one to the light before turning it upside down. The contents magically congealed, staying firmly in place. You're supposed to make drinks, pretty boy. Don't tell me you're wasted already. Vere, perched on the counter beside Ace, looks at the shot glass and shakes his head. What have we here? A bucket full of boogers? Leander's nose treasures? You've eaten worse. Vere's lips twitch and his ears flatten when offered a glass. Ace snickers. Coward. Don't tell me you'll actually... In one fluid motion, Ace throws his head back and downs the shot. Drinking that. A dark look crosses Ace's face. It's Troy. Chewy? Wait, let me try again. Behind me, Min grumbles. I told you this place was a nest of degenerates. If it isn't Kurash and Min... At the sound of Leander's voice, Min's pale eyes grow wide. They look ready to bolt until Kurash sets a hand on their shoulder. This will not take long, I promise. Min's eyes dart from Kurash's hand to his face, then soften. Fine, you first. While they step forward, I linger behind, struck by a sudden revelation. All of the people I've met today know each other. Good evening, Leander. Ace. Another drinking competition, I presume? Is it evening already? Just some friendly rivalry, Doctor. No need to be alarmed. Kurash acknowledges Leander and Ace with a slight nod, ignoring Vere entirely. Not that Vere seems to mind. He tilts his head, lips curving into an impish smile when he spots Min brooding behind Karash. I almost didn't see you there, Min. Looking for your booster seat? Min pushes their hood back and levels Vere with a cool look. I thought pets weren't allowed in here. Vere's eyes narrow. Fight, 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 fight! At the first sign of an impending fight, Leander vaults over the counter. Let's try and keep the peace. It's not every day the esteemed doctor takes us up on a drink. His arm snakes around Karash's shoulder. You are finally taking me up on that drink, right, Karash? I'm afraid not. We're merely escorting Ryunosuke back to his lodgings. Karash gestures in my direction, and my stomach sinks. I reluctantly step into the light. Leander's face brightens as soon as he sees me. Ryunosuke! It's been too long! Everyone, this is Ryunosuke. He's new to Iridia. I feel 4 pairs of eyes fix on me, and suddenly the bar seems suffocatingly small. My voice nearly catches in my throat. Hi, again. Hi, everyone. Again. You've met? Ace and Vere regard me with subtly amused expressions. We did. Not that long ago, either. To think we'd crossed paths once again. It must be fate. I roll my eyes. Vere looks far too pleased with himself. This calls for drinks. I'm buying. All eyes turn to Leander, freeing me from the burden of attention. I still can't believe they all know each other. Watching them talk among themselves is surreal. But for the first time since I undertook the journey to Iridia, I feel a faint glimmer of hope. I know I was meant to meet them. The low, pleasant rumble of Leander's laughter pulls me from my restless thoughts. I've got to admit, I'm surprised. You make friends fast, Ryunosuke. I wouldn't go that far. We're more like acquaintances. A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends you haven't shared a drink with yet. A wise man? You said that here, last week. Min's lip curled with distaste, but Leander continues unperturbed. Let's toast to Ryu's health. Care to join in, Doctor? Karash politely declines with a wave of his hand. How about you, Min? No. Are you? No! A resounding pop pierces the din of the bar. We all turn to find the bartender pouring champagne from an old bottle, its label worn blank. He hands the drink to Vere. When did they start serving champagne here? Vere pauses to lick the foam from his fingers with a coy smile. You don't mind, do you? In a blink, the concern on Leander's face vanishes. No, be my guest. While chuckling, Leander shoots the bartender a questioning look. Completely disinterested in his company, Ace cants his head at me with a light smile. How about you, Sparrow? I did say I'd buy you a drink. No. My treat. Ace regards Leander over the rim of his glass. In the dim light, the glint in his eyes looks downright dangerous. They're fighting over me, oh no! What'll it be, Ryo? I'll take that one. I'll take you up on that drink. As long as it's not one of those green shots. Don't knock them till you try them. They taste better than they look. Somehow I doubt that, but I hold my tongue. Min and Karash drift toward one end of the bar. Both seem eager to leave at a moment's notice, and neither has ordered anything. Ace and Vere linger. Several glasses stand empty between them, and the two show no signs of slowing down. Stay with Ace and Vere. Ooh, this is a new choice. Ooh! Hold on. We're saving. This one. Return. Ace's eyes meet mine in a flash of red. He gives me a smile that's too wide to be reassuring. Don't worry, Leander's more likely to slip poison into my drink than yours. Hey, excuse me? He considers his cup, a tumbler of amber-colored whiskey. Leander's tried to kill me 12 times by now. It's always a gamble. Vere looks my way with a half-lit gaze softened by his third glass of champagne. If I were you, I wouldn't let Leander put anything in my mouth. He grins, revealing the sharp white tip of his fangs. The Wet Wick is one of Iridia's finest drinking establishments. Allow us to treat you to the best this city has to offer. May I interest you in a signature watered-down drink, or perhaps some stale nut leather? He gestures at a chipped ceramic bowl filled with spindly speckled jerky that I can only assume is nut leather. What is with the food in the city? If this place is as foul as you say, how come it's completely packed? It's not all bad. Depending on the day, the food's edible. Ace takes a measured sip of his drink. Gotta stick around for the real attractions, though. Before I can respond, Leander returns with a tumbler and sets it in front of me. A strip of orange peel bobs in a pool of thin, red alcohol. Ooh. I eye the drink suspiciously. So far, none of the refreshments have been promising. Relax, it's just the local specialty, pomegranate wine. Although, if you're feeling more adventurous... I shake my head. Leander raps his knuckles against the bar until the group falls silent. Alright, everyone, let's toast. May Ryu's stay in Iridia be full of bright adventures and discoveries. Cheers! Leander, Ace, and Vere raise their glasses in unison. Min only crosses their arms, and Crush watches with polite indifference. I tip my drink back. The wine is eye-wateringly strong. Despite a sharp, bitter edge, it goes down smoothly. One sip softens the edge of my vision, the next fades the din of the crowded bar into a low, persistent murmur. I find myself unwinding for what feels like the first time in years. Aren't you the popular one, Ryu? You must have met Crush first. It would be more accurate to say that I found him. He saved my life. I merely performed my duty as a doctor. Although I'll admit I was confused when I woke up naked. Leander makes a choked noise. Somewhere behind him, Min sighs. It's not what you think. Ryunosuke was in grave condition. I could barely treat such injuries through tattered clothes. The silence that follows stretches uncomfortably long. I look away, unable to face Kurash's disappointment, and catch Vere snickering behind his hand. That's my cue to change the topic. Kurash is the only one who saved me today. Isn't the only one who saved me today. Don't you listen? I didn't save you. You were simply there. That's Min for you. Leander reaches for Min, but they duck under his arm with practiced ease. As reliable as they are moody. You're one to talk considering you know the lessons to warn him to stay off the streets at night. What? Of course I warned him, I think. Min's only response is a short breath. At any rate, I never got a chance to thank you, Min. I thought I thanked him, though. Don't. The less soulless alive, the better. Min's eyes flick towards Ace, and their lips twist. Ace is too busy nodding along to Vere's enthusiastic pantomime of stabbing to notice. I've had enough of this hellhole. Let's go. Min and Crush share a brief look, then the doctor speaks up. Very well, but there is something that I must discuss with Leander, if you'll excuse us, Ryunosuke. Sippy. And just like that, the three of them depart, leaving me alone to savor my drink in silence. Or so I think, until I hear a voice so soft and low, it's practically a purr. Lost your tour guide? I turn to find two pairs of eyes trained on me. It's not lost on me that Ace and Vere chose to pounce the instant the others left. Of course, I'd be stuck with the two most irritating people I've met all day. Monsters or not, there's no telling what I'll do if either of them push me again. Don't tell me Leander already snuck out back to get his knob slobbered. He's got business with Kurash and Min. 2-on-1 business, huh? Lucky. I can't tell if it's the champagne or the company, but Vere has grown noticeably more relaxed. He sits with his chin propped on the back of his hand. His tail sways lazily. Why are you so far away? Come, join us. He passed the empty bar stool beside Ace, but I'd hesitate. The smile Vere wears is sweet and distinctly sly, but with drinks in the mix, I dread how he and Ace will mess with me. Wait, well, don't bite. I'm not so sure about that. You already tried to rob me, and you threatened me. Me? Steal? You must be mistaken. You sure it was me? Yes, it was you. And then you had the gall to kick me out, so you could go drinking. Ace gives another one of his shrugs. Had to give you a reason to come looking. Miss me already? I stare at him flatly, unimpressed by his deflection. Whew. Vere suddenly leans towards me, gossamer sleeves pulling where he rests his elbow on his knees. Ace sets his hand on Vere's waist, narrowly preventing him from tipping off the counter. I'm afraid we got off on the wrong foot. How about we start fresh, Begin with proper introductions and whatnot. I'll start. The name's Vere. I'm a soulless hunter of no small renown. Vere's hand flutters to his chest, and he bows his head, flinching when his hair falls over his eyes. Ace doesn't say anything, so I suppose it's my turn now. It's Ryunosuke. Vere considers me for a long moment, his tail idly swaying behind him. Then he knocks back the rest of his champagne. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Ryunosuke. He says my name slowly and deliberately, savoring every syllable. A tingle jumps down my spine. I quickly turn my gaze away. Ace smirks at my reaction. Is something funny? Nope. I open my mouth and close it just as quickly. They want me to react, goading me into another ridiculous game. Well, their sharp cat-like eyes keep me on edge. Something about this tension is fun. It must be the wine. A flash of white over Ace's shoulder catches my eye. Across the bar, Kurash heads for the door. I don't see Leander or Min, but it feels wrong to let the doctor leave without saying goodbye. I'll be back. Vere grins and waves at me as I leave. I slip through the crowd, careful not to touch anyone, but just as I'm nearing Kurash... Gah! I stagger, shoulder checked by a man with a neck twice as wide as his head. He stares down at me, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, shitstain. My words spill out on their own. Watch it! I regret them as soon as they leave my mouth. That fucking wine! The lowlife wheels around, shoving an adder out of the way so he can close in on me. What you say? He shoves me backwards, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. I'm fine, but my heart leaps into my throat when I see him bearing down on me. You trying to start something here? The lowlife freezes, his fist cocked back. A group of adders circle him, sizing him up. For what feels like an agonizingly long time, the lowlife looks from me to the adders. Finally, he sniffs and spits on the floor next to me. The wad narrowly misses my cheek. Screw it. Too many freaks in this circus tonight. He turns his back on me and comes face to face with Ace. He gives the lowlife a dangerous smile. You'll do. What happens next is a blur. Ace's fist crashes into the man's jaw, causing a frenzy of gasps, shouts, and even cheers. I scramble to my feet as the frantic crowd swarms around me. Through the ruckus, I hear Leander shouting, "Take it outside, Ace! Everyone drinks are on me!" With that, the wake erupts in hoots and cheers. The ring around me disperses as adders and onlookers rush towards the bar. Through the thinning crowd, I catch glimpses of familiar faces. Ace vanishes out the back, dragging the lowlife behind him. Kurash lingers near the door, searching, I suspect, for any wounded before he departs. Min draws their hood up tight as they duck out a side door, while Vere... fear of what my voice might do if I speak up. I can take care of myself. It comes out sharper than I intended. Vere lets me go with a sigh. So, did you come here for praise, or will a head pat suffice? A head pat, please. What about real explanations instead of vague ramblings about moss and fire? Vere scoffs. You could buy me a drink before insulting me. After the way you pounced on me? If anyone's owed a drink, it's me. Vere falls so uncharacteristically quiet that for a moment I fear I've actually crossed the line. Then he props his chin on his wrist. I don't think you understand how things work around here. Information is a luxury, one you flung carelessly aside. If you valued my words, you'd have taken me seriously. Valued? I barely understood what you meant. I gave you free advice, warned you of the danger you were in, and still you went prancing off to the sea spring. Small wonder the Solus didn't tear you to ribbons. My first impulse is to argue, but what he said doesn't sit well with me. How does he know what happened to me? How do you know where I went? How do you know I left Iridia? I have a very sensitive nose, remember? Right, how could I forget? Do you normally greet people by shoving your nose into their laps like an overeager dog? For a heartbeat, Vere's eyes grow wide and flat. Then he laughs under his breath. Only the ones I like. Vere trades his empty wine glass for the long-abandoned tumbler sweating on the counter beside him. Soft lumps of ice bob in the watery dregs of whiskey. The truth is, I despise most people. His eyes flicker over my shoulder, and thin when Leander's boisterous laughter erupts from the other side of the bar. What about me? He looks me over with an agonizingly slow gaze. Finally, his lips quirk. You've piqued my curiosity. It's a start, or so I think until his eyes slide away and he turns back towards the bar. I've got no idea how I'm supposed to hold a conversation, much less get answers. I knew Vere wouldn't make this easy for me, not when he clearly enjoys playing games. Are you going to tell me anything, or are you having too much fun? He lets out a short breath. This isn't a game to me. A lie. I'm close enough to catch the subtle bristling of his tail. If anyone's fooling around, it's you. People like us can't help but attract danger, yet you seek it out, and for what? Cheap thrills? I wasn't trying to get eaten by Solus. There's something I'm looking for. And you think Min can help you? Leander, are you really willing to risk your life with those idiots? What life? You've got no idea what I've gone through, or... Forget it. I start to rise, but something flicks against my ankle. Vere's tail. It's a little more than a brush, but enough to give me pause. His eyes, softer than before, search mine. They really changed this up! Oh my goodness! I couldn't even begin to understand you, but I could. How do I know I can trust you? You don't, but I'm slightly less inclined to waste your time with empty flattery or insults than those two. Is what you desire really worth risking your life for? If you knew the kind of life I've lived, you wouldn't be asking. Vere considers the condensation on his glass for a long moment before speaking again. Will you trust me? For now. For now. Good enough for me. Vere raises the tumbler to me, then knocks the dregs back. Once finished, he wipes his mouth on the back of his hand. Let's talk. Outside. We could both use the fresh air. With that, he slips away from the bar, leaving me to follow his long, trailing tail through the crowd. Yeah, I remember in 1.0, they barely mentioned his tail at all, I think. It's so cold, the breeze cuts clean through my bandages, numbing my fingertips. But if the chill bothers Vere, he doesn't show it. He lopes purposely down the street into an alley. This far from the wick, the bar's racket is little more than an indistinct hum. The street is silent in the dead of night. I fleetingly wonder how many unfortunate lives have been ended in this dingy alleyway. You had a question? Ask. Vere's breath mists. In the cold moonlight, his shadow stretches unnaturally long over the cobblestone streets. Quickly, I've got a show to attend. Heavenly Ludus, as I'm sure I've mentioned. looks down his nose at me, effortlessly imperious. For a heartbeat, a reminder of the stark want that gleamed in his eyes when he touched me. If he weren't so pretty, I'd walk away. But I need answers, and I can't think of a better way than starting with the people I met earlier. If Vere doesn't prove trustworthy, maybe one of them will. First, I ask about... Oh, I think I went down the list before. Let's do Crush first. I want to ask you about... I regret speaking as soon as I start. Vere's mentioned Crush before, though not by name. His previous reaction was nasty, but I can't back down now. Not with Vere eyeing me suspiciously. About... The doctor, Crush. I tense, ready for a blowback, but Vere only shrugs. Bit of a bore, if you ask me, but he's popular enough. You know, on account of his massive heart. He winks, as though the stress he placed on heart wasn't already suggestive. There's always a line wrapped around that block for his services. People can't seem to get enough of his special medicine. Probably because he doesn't charge anything. Vere's tail gives an impatient twitch. Or they're eager for a little mouth-to-mouth with their pelvic examination, if you get what I mean. When I grimace, Vere grins wolfishly at me. There's clearly no point in asking him anything else about Crush. Then let's do Leander, then Ace. What do you think about Leander? I don't. An unusually curt answer for Vere. I don't buy it. So you're not very fond of him? I wouldn't spit on Leander if he were on fire. Vere shudders. Oh no, he'd enjoy that far too much. To call Leander trash would be an insult to manure. He's a pathetic, slimy little man-child in big, shiny shoes. I've seen mutts rotting in gutters with more dignity. I don't even know how to respond to that. Damn! Ace. I'd like to know more about Ace. You two seem close. He made an impression, Not surprising. He's strong, ruthless, easy on the eyes. Gives it almost as well as he takes it, even if he's awfully greedy. Big, everywhere, really. Bit simple, but you know what they say about still waters. I don't, but I'm too distracted by the change that's come over Vere to ask. A coy smile plays at his lips as he winds a finger around the chain dangling from his collar. I thought you didn't like most people. Ace isn't most people. He's better. Our eyes meet, and Vere's tender expression curdles. He makes a tiny sound of distaste in the back of his throat. He's more trouble than he's worth. Dangerous, too. Stay far away from him and those red-eyed freaks if you value your safety or your sanity. Is that why you scolded me for going to the Sea Spring? I really don't think Ace is as bad as you're saying. You don't know him. Not like I do. The corner of his lips twitch. Before I can ask my next question, Vere gives a frustrated growl. I haven't got all night for idle gossip. Is there someone more interesting we could talk about? Who, you? No, I'm more interested in learning about you. That catches me off guard. What about me? Nothing worth having comes easy or cheap in this world. You're clearly set on this thing you've spoken of. Your very reason for being. Yet have you considered what might happen should your struggles prove futile? If what you desire is beyond your grasp? I'll never stop looking. I'll find what I'm looking for no matter what it takes. I won't give up. I can't. Even if you lose everything. Haven't you noticed? I really haven't got much left to lose. To cling so tenaciously to a slim hope. How fascinating. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. You had 2 questions left. 2? But you haven't explained anything. Then I suggest you make your last questions count. So much for being helpful, but I suppose that's just how information works in this exhausting city. Leander told me that Cenobium imprisons people. Did he mean you? Leander's a moaning fool with a throbbing victim complex. He loves to see himself as a savior, but the only difference between his cronies and the Cenobium stooges are the uniforms. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what surprised me more, the bluntness with which he speaks, or the venom lacing his ordinarily silken voice. You're asking who, when you should be asking why. says the asshole counting my questions. The look he throws me is infuriatingly self-satisfied. Fine. Why were you imprisoned? For the same reason the Cenobian would snatch you away. I'm something special. Vere bows his head, gathering his hair in his hand and lifting it from his shoulders to bare his neck to me. See this collar? He cranes his neck, inviting me to lean closer. It looks unremarkable, doesn't it? Maybe to the untrained eye, but there's an enchantment, barely visible like ink long faded with age. Intricate spellwork has been inscribed on the collar. If I touched it, I might be able to figure out what kind of magic it holds. Tuchu. I reach forward to touch the buckle. Vere's hand lashes out. Long, slender fingers wrap around my wrist and flex, exerting just enough pressure to hint at how easily he could snap my bones. Don't you know better than to touch without asking? Can I, please? Our eyes meet, his thin with amusement. No, you may look, but don't touch. He lets go of my arm. I smooth down my bandages. I can't lose my composure again. But by now, I'd fully expected Vere to walk away. But the fact that he's still here suggests he either forgot about his warning, or he was never counting my questions to begin with. Are you saying that's what'll happen if the Cenobian finds out I'm different? I'll be collared? Doubtful. They keep me around because I'm the best at what I do. And what exactly are you the best at? Killing. He says it carelessly, without hesitation. As long as I wear this collar, I'm made to hunt the Cenobian's dizzying array of enemies. Monsters, soulless, noisy dissidents who grow overbold. I'm bound by their will until the day I die. That's awful. Vere murmurs in agreement. It is, isn't it? And that's all I have time for. I really must leave now. I'll be late. That's it? Why'd you bring me here if you weren't going to explain anything? He has the nerve to laugh. Isn't that obvious? I wanted to lure you out here alone so I could eat you. You're lying again. And you're asking far too many questions for someone with so much to hide. He glances pointedly at my hands, and I shove them deep into my cloak. What makes you think I'm hiding anything? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the tough act or the way you tense up at the slightest provocation. More likely it's the bandages. Not exactly subtle. I'll be going, unless you're willing to share some morsels with me. There's a biting edge to his playful tone. I can't tell you anything. Wrong. You can start with what you are. I take a step backward, but... Wall. Kabedoned. My back hits a wall as Vere follows me in lockstep. He rests his left hand on the wall beside my head, caging me in. Oh no. Vere reaches for me. His fingers curl under my chin and lift, forcing me to meet his lidded gaze. Oh, that's a new expression. Would you believe me if I said that the eyes are the windows to the soul? My eyelids twitch. Cliché, I know, but let me tell you a little secret. Vere leans in until his lashes tickle my cheek, and the warm, faintly spiced scent of his hair drowns out the stench of greasy cooking fires and chimney smoke. His eyes pin me down. There's nothing you can hide from me. His voice is so low, so supple I could slip into it. The misery born of your mistreatment haunts you. I understand what it's like to be used and thrown away. I'll give your life new meaning. My heart hammers. My lungs burn as though each breath is being stolen away. How could he possibly know? This must be some kind of trick, but for once, Vere isn't smiling. All that suffering has made your soul so irresistible. The look on his face makes my blood run cold. I've seen it before. Traveling through the wastes, lanterns would occasionally reveal carcasses picked clean by starving scavengers, whose eyes shone in the dark with that same ravenous hunger. Vere takes a shuddering breath. You're trembling. What if you and I went somewhere quieter, alone? Oh, I only can resist. Ooh. They changed it. Part of me wants nothing more than to let him take me, to surrender completely to him. It would be so easy. But I'm not about to give up now. You're late. The ludist. Vere blinks. His voice comes out soft and breathy. Shame. He eases back, and for what feels like the first time since he cornered me, I breathe. But my relief is short-lived. Nimble fingers trail down my jaw before tilting my chin up. His touch is feather-light and teasing, but my pulse still leaps. One last thing, Ryu. Spoken so softly that the pounding my heart nearly drowns out his words. Call me a dog again and I'll break you. Understand? His lips curve, but there's no humor in his voice. Actually, I wonder if they took away that option because I already died once. Are they afraid that people would just, stop playing if they get more than one death? Yes. Good. As soon as Vere releases me, I sink against the alley wall to catch my breath. He looks down on me. Let's get one thing straight. I ate a monster 3 times your size for breakfast. 2, actually. The first tasted dreadful, like a fisherman's antique ashtray, but that's besides the point. You and I may be alike, but don't ever forget what I am or what I do best. He smiles wide enough to flash his sharp white fangs as much a warning as a smirk. The crash of shattering glass cuts through the air. I whip around to see a drunk stumble past the alleyway, leaving a trail of beer and broken glass in his wake. A glass back of beer. But he's gone, vanished into the dark. I'm left in the deserted alley, trembling with a delirious mixture of exhaustion and excitement. Fuck. Only once my racing heartbeat slows do I make my way back towards the wick, guided by the distant sounds of reverie. And then you get to choose. I've already chosen Vere, but yeah. Change charlatan. And we confirm. And that's it. So, I didn't see any red with Vere yet. Again. So I'm wondering, where am I? Hold on. Oh god, help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Where am I? Shush. Huh. I'm back. Okay. You pause. You get out of here. Alright. That was it. I enjoyed the changes that they made. I'll play more, offline, but I had to explore Vere's options way more. They took out a lot of, the fun with his too, I noticed. And I noticed that, the thank you option didn't translate to the later option with Min. So that's a little concerning. I don't know if that was just an oversight for the demo or if they're gonna fix that in the final game. So yeah. Yeah, I need to explore this more, but unfortunately I don't have a lot of time tonight to do that on my own time and without thrashing my throat. Maybe tomorrow might be a split stream now that I'm thinking about it. But we'll see. Worst comes to worst, I just switch Undertale to Sunday, but I don't want to do that. I'm gonna really try to get up early tomorrow. But yeah, if you want to play the demo yourself, it's free on Steam. Just search up Touchstarved and it's right there. I also really want to explore following Leander, because apparently they really upped the hints on what he's going to be like in his route. And I fucking called it. I knew he was going to be a goddamn a yandere. But yeah. Again, my prediction for when this comes out is either late October or mid-December. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Is there anyone? Let's see. Is there anyone else playing this? Let's see. It doesn't look like anybody else is playing this. But yeah, I'll just end it for the night. I hope everybody has a great night. Drink good tea, eat good food, have good rest. Turn that AC on or get yourself a little icy pop because Lord, it's getting hot out. We're supposed to get a rainstorm, hopefully either tonight or tomorrow morning. It would be really nice to get this humidity out for a little bit. But yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Alright, bye. Bye. Goodbye, smooches, bye.